Let's say you invested in the SpaceX IPO and you want it to go to the moon. Well, there's a sobering reality I have to share with you. Even though IPOs are famous for that pop on day one, their performance actually rapidly degrades over the subsequent months. 6 months after the IPO is when the lockup period ends. What this means is employees, executives, investors are finally allowed to sell their shares, which they weren't allowed to do within the first 6 months of the IPO. When we look at historical data, we can see that over the past decade that these IPOs didn't do so well. Roughly half of them dropped below their IPO price within 6 months of listing. Furthermore, if you bought at day one, the close of day one, because you couldn't get institutional access to the IPO, then your typical return 6 months later was negative 1.4%. You're very likely to lose money from an IPO. You can think of an IPO as a lottery ticket. A small minority, 10 to 20%, achieve massive returns, and that pulls up the overall mathematical average. But the median IPO significantly underperforms the broader market. Another reason why IPOs can be dangerous is because companies usually IPO when their financials are at their very best. But 6 months later, they've released two earnings calls, two quarterly reports, and those numbers might not be as rosy. They may have had a really good quarter before the IPO, but afterward, reality sets in and things don't look so good. Also, one thing that's changed over the years is companies are going public much later in their life cycle, after a Series E or a Series F fundraising. And so there's not as much value you can juice out of the IPO. One saying I really like is IPO stands for "It's probably over." The business has matured, the investors want to cash out, and you're left holding the bag, paying for a company that is stalling or doing poorly. So don't buy an IPO because it's sexy, because it's exciting. Look at their financials, take it all in, and if you have the discipline, wait 6 months, because the odds are the price will be lower in 6 months and you'll have a better buying opportunity.